This is Drink Talk, where we try to solve the world's problems, one drink at a time. This week, we'll be having beers by Rogue Ales out of Oregon and discussing Disney. We are your hosts, Brian and Britt.
Oh, hey.
That was a quick opening.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, hey, oh.
Well, usually we've got a ton of guests on the show. We've got a ton of beers. But all the beers that you brought on this show are from Rogue
Brewing Company out of Oregon. They started in 1988. I actually drove by there when I went out to Oregon this summer, and I didn't get a chance to stop by. I did have the entire family and extended family with me, so for non-selfish reasons, I decided not to stop because I would have been me and my brother-in-law may have enjoyed it, but beyond that, no one else would have really enjoyed it. So
sorry you couldn't be there.
Yeah, that's all right. The first one that we're drinking is the
Yellow.
Yes, the Yellow Snow IPA,
which is a weird term for that because everybody knows that yellow snow you do not want to eat.
No, but apparently you can drink it.
Okay,
you can
totally drink it.
Yeah. So here's something new that we're going to try. I recently found a new podcast called The Beerists. And
The
Beerists. And they're out of...
Are they the cheeriest?
I know, right? So it's two guys out of Texas, and they it's an award-winning podcast, very, very knowledgeable about beers. And they did a co-episode with the Rogue something. I can't remember, and I apologize. But one of the things they said, because they were drinking like 6 different beers, all different styles.
Sure.
And one of the hosts from the other show said, when I do that, it tends to be whatever's second is crappy. And even if you reverse the order, the one that's second just tends to not be as good because your palate is already ready for that, or from the last one.
Sure.
So what the guys from Beer said, what you do is you actually do every beer like a sampling, where you look at the color and the clarity and all that stuff, which is what we do.
Yeah.
And then you inhale the aromas from it first. And not just like once, but like 3 or 4 times. And so they said sometimes that'll change. Your first impression of it will be, or pretty good.
We do have 4 beers here from Rogue,
yep.
And
three different styles.
3 different styles. And we were trying to figure out literally moments before the show what we were going to drink in order. Because
right.
I like to be prepared. That way, the next one I grab out of here, I'm not like, hey, Brian, what's gonna be the next one? What's going to be the next one?
Right. And when I went to their website, actually, the Yellow Snow is listed as a Pilsner on their website. And on the bottle, on the bomber, it says IPA. So,
Well, we'll see about this IPA. I'm sure we'll love it because we love IPAs. Cheers. The color's great, by the way.
It's very hazy. It's
very golden.
Yeah, it's a darker golden, not quite amber. You can smell the hops.
Oh yeah, very, 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 very hoppy.
It's got bite,
very hoppy.
Very hop bite. I'm interested to see the 8 hop one later on to see the differences between. the two.
I remember them at Beer Fest,
the Extreme Beer Fest.
They had like a 7, and then they had an 8, and I even think they had a 9. I could be wrong on that.
It's 4, 6, 7, 8.
4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we had the 7 and 8 while we were there. Anyway, oh yeah.
Yeah, good times. I also did want to give a little bit of a shout out to Rogue Ales, their YouTube channel. You should check it out. They actually have some really cool, quirky little videos on each one of their beers, and they have behind the scenes stuff.
Because this is another one of those beer groups out there that actually has some decent artwork on their cans.
Yeah.
Very. How would I go about saying their type of artwork? You remember when there was the soldier and he was all like, "Come serve," and like 1940s era kind of style artwork.
Yeah, kind of like what you would see in the Captain America movies, the old school stuff. Yeah, I would agree with that. And a lot of the artwork is like one of them, and we'll bring it up later, is just like a friend of the master brewers, and they just put them on the bottle. So who's a home brewer as well. Nice. So well, as we drink on this, we will get into the talk.
Yes, and by the way, those who are listening, feel free to chime in. We've got this new app, Live Desk for Facebook, and they've done some updating for me, and I'm able to actually see the questions pop up here. Before, I had to do like this double vision thing where I had that going in the background, and then I had my phone up front, and then my phone was feeding me the questions, and then stuff for me to type and all that stuff. But they've made it a lot easier for me to operate on Facebook, which is great.
Yes, thank you.
Those out there on YouTube, you gotta get it a second hand. Sorry about that, but
that's all right. As long as we're not saying the Facebook Nation, because it is the YouTube Nation as well.
Exactly,
it's actually the Drink Talk Nation. So the topic for today, Britt actually chose. We were kind of struggling with a little bit of we usually talk about halfway through the week, my brother and I, and we try to come up with what our next topic is going to be talking about. And Brian brought up the fact that we should talk about how we live and die by technology, and I'm just like, that's great and all, but lately we've been talking about a lot of technology. Absolutely, I agree.
Not that we won't talk about technology in this talk as well, because Disney is, just look at Pixar. That's technology in its finest. But I just was like, we need to do something different. And I heard about Disney and their inquiry of Fox.
Which has actually gone through.
Yes.
Now, it still needs to go through congressional approval, or all the government agencies still need to approve it.
It would be no problem.
Yeah, but the deal has been done, sealed, signed, delivered from Fox and from Disney. They bought...
For a staggering $66 billion? Isn't that what it was?
Kind of. So... they actually bought 21st Century Fox for $52.4 billion.
They bought parts of Fox.
Right. It didn't include
the
Fox
news
and Fox Network.
Yeah.
So the actual station, the TV
your
station.
local station, when you get on to your TV, here in Omaha it's Fox 42. So they did not purchase that.
Right. Or Fox News.
Or the news, or I believe the sports is out of it as well, but not the international sports.
Right. But that included the $52.4 billion. On top of that, they did some cash towards there, and they also bought like $12 billion worth of debt. So all told, it was somewhere between $66 and $69 billion, the total value of everything.
Another thing they don't get is their property. They don't get the Fox property.
Oh, right.
Which it's kind of funny because since Fox is selling off some of this space, they might just release it back to Disney or something like that. What a monopoly they're putting themselves into.
Not sure. Something else that they acquired, because both Fox and Disney had 30% ownership of Hulu. Now that Disney bought Fox, they now have a 60% share.
Okay. Now we're jumping ahead here because Hulu.
This is still the deal.
There's a lot I want to talk about Hulu and why they're going into Hulu and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
I want to kind of stay...
Comcast is the other company, the one that has 40%.
They're competing. Okay, so...
No, it's not competing. They have 40% on Hulu, and then Disney now has 60%.
Well, that's an interesting thing you brought up Comcast, because I was doing some research, and as for a media group, essentially one that is putting movies and shows and stuff out there, Disney is number 2, right behind Comcast.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So,
and Fox was number 3. So now the acquisition of Fox, or 21st Century Fox.
You see where I'm going there. They're trying to get first place.
Yeah, I see where you're going there. So, some things that are really interesting. The reasons is kind of why did they buy Fox? And what I see, because the more I delved into it and why they bought them and what they bought from Fox.
Sure.
It was, for me, I think it was a content grab. They're just looking for content.
Well, look at the characters. Look at the Marvel. I know they own Marvel, but look at the Fantastic Four they're going to be getting and all that stuff.
X-Men.
They're going to be getting some awesome characters.
I don't know about
Deadpool.
I don't know about the Simpsons.
I
don't know about the Simpsons if they're going to get them. They are aired on Fox, but I don't know. I don't know.
So, the Simpsons predicted this.
I saw that
18 years ago, or 19 years ago.
Yeah, I saw that. That was like that. There was like a marquee, and it said 21st Century Fox, a Disney company. Yeah, it was
go figure. Just like I guess you should always be tuning into Simpsons because you never know where you're going to get your news from.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Did you know that Disney in 2019 is actually coming out with their own streaming service?
So that's where Hulu gets into place. So
let's get into that.
I found it very interesting that they bought into Hulu. It's just for the sheer fact
Those of you that don't know what Hulu is, it's kind of like Netflix.
It's exactly like Netflix.
Not exactly. It's very similar.
It's pretty darn exactly.
There's commercials in it, though, doesn't it?
I'm sure if you pay the premium whatever service, there's got to be commercials all the time.
Still commercials, because I have a friend that pays for his Hulu.
Well, anyway, Disney wants to have their own streaming media service. Well, gosh darn it, wouldn't it be easy just to slip right over to Hulu and just rename that since you own it now, or keep it as Hulu? Who cares? Whatever. But then just open your platform to that, and then Netflix is going to go, what's going on here? Because their contract is about to needing to be renewed here soon.
Well, and they just up their prices. So as of next year, their prices go up to, I think it's $14 a month or something like that.
Yeah. So net neutrality happened, and literally the next day, I get an email from Netflix. I get an email from another company that I'm ABC Mouse. Just weird things are happening now that net neutrality is going on.
Yep. We're getting into some crazy stuff. Let's get on the lighter end of it a little bit. So Disney also owns ESPN,
right? Which there's where I was going to see the monopoly was. It was kind of weird that Fox left Fox Sports out of it, just for the sheer fact if they owned ESPN and Fox Sports, man, they just sorry, you've got to come to us.
Well, and they're coming out with a streaming service in next year for ESPN, so they'll have Hulu, they'll have their own streaming service, and they'll have an ESPN streaming service all within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So let's.
So what are you watching?
Exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about the size of Disney. What they own.
Oh my gosh! It literally was on Wikipedia, and it was like 8 pages long. Yeah. I kept scrolling and kept scrolling
and a lot of those are
subsidiaries of Disney.
But like there's like one thing, then there's multiple things under it where it's just the one thing. I
was really looking for that map of General Mills and Pepsi and what they own, and that map of them that's what I was looking for, was the intertwined webs.
Yeah. Because 3 companies own everything.
It's getting to Disney doing that.
Well, and we're gonna break into that here in a little bit. Let me read through the list a little bit, because some of these were actually a little surprising. I knew them ahead of time because we actually did this back on our fake news episodes. We talked about the conglomerates and where Disney and 21st Century Fox were in there at that time. Now they're one company. So, but yeah, it was interesting when I was doing the research. I was like, I know that. Why do I know? Oh, we talked about this already back in the fake news episodes. So Walt Disney owns Walt Disney Pictures, Disney Channel, Disney TV, Walt Disney Records, Disney Nature, Disney Toon Studio, Disneyland Parks. So, and they have got 4, I think. Paris. No, there's 5. So there's 2 in the United States, 2 in Asia, and 1 in Paris, I think.
What about the island?
Oh, well, yeah, they have their own. Yeah, the Castaway Key. Which is actually kind of cool. They own Lucasfilms.
Yeah, because you've been there.
I know, right? It's awesome. They own Lucasfilms. They bought them in 2012 for $4 billion.
So yeah, they bought Lucasfilms for $4 billion. Yet they bought Fox for $66 billion.
But Fox was so large; it was the 3rd largest conglomerate.
I know. It just
Lucasfilms, while they make a lot of movies,
could have gotten more.
He probably could. Well, he was sitting pretty,
for sure.
Pixar, which was from Lucasfilms, that's how Pixar started. It was at ILM. They bought them in 2006. Marvel Studios, which they bought in 2009 for $4 billion. Touchstone Pictures, Hollywood Records, ABC, ESPN, A&E, Lifetime, History Channel, Maker Studios, which is a YouTube content provider or YouTube network content provider. They do some pretty high quality stuff. Epic Rap Battles.
Oh yeah,
that's Maker Studios.
Sweet.
They own Vice Media, which was also owned by 21st Century Fox, but now Disney owns it 100%.
This is good.
Now they own 21st Century Fox, and
this is really good.
It is really. And then they also own GoPro, which I didn't know.
Did you say National Geographic? They have the National Geographic channel as well.
That probably falls under the Disney Nature.
Sure,
it's probably.
This is good. You kind of put me off when you said that this was going to be yellow snow. What did you call it? Lager or ale?
Pilsner.
Yeah, you said Pilsner.
Yeah.
and I was a little put off, and I'm like, okay,
you need to expand.
But then when you put IPA down there, I was like, oh, all right. And then I saw it, and then I'm like, oh, ooh.
No, I like it.
Oh, it's very nice.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. I dig it. It's really, really good. It's not crisp. It has got some bite to it.
I
some
drink this
bite.
Yellow Snow. If that's what it tastes like.
Yeah, right. That's why they tell you not to, because it's so delicious.
It's so delicious.
Yeah. Something else that's interesting. Steve Jobs, before he passed, owned a 6% share in Disney, and now his widow.
Why wouldn't he?
Right, but his widow owns 7.5% now, which is a very good portion. But could you imagine where it would be today if Steve Jobs were still alive? I wonder if there'd be a partnership between Apple and Disney.
Things that make you go, Right.
Yep. So, like we said before, there were 6 conglomerates for the major media. So, Comcast was number 1, Walt Disney was number 2, 21st Century Fox was number 3, so now those are combined. Time Warner was number 4, and then CBS and Viacom. So,
this story that's coming out right now with, Disney buying Fox, kind of really helps them out. For one, this whole net neutrality thing, really, they can do anything they want to do and charge anything they want to charge, and people are probably going to pay it because who doesn't love Disney? I mean, I grew up on Disney. I remember, watching these timeless films back when I was a kid and getting so enveloped into them, and it made you, what would be the proper term for it? It would it made you who you were. Because you started acting like the actors, and like, oh my gosh, who didn't want to be Aladdin, and have a genie? But there's also some of the sadistic side of Disney, which we'll probably get into later the more we drink. But I mean, just look at Bambi. We were talking about that. It's the first few minutes of the film, his mom dies. Like. Thanks for bringing your kids here. I'm going to show how mom dies right away.
That was pretty controversial when it came out.
Yeah.
So you talked about the old movies. So I was actually watching something on how Disney affects culture. And if you look at the old original movies, like Snow White and Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast and all those, the gender roles, these were made at the time where gender roles were a little different than they are today. And back then the woman stayed at the house and she did the cooking and the cleaning, and the man was the breadwinner, the brave one. So they had all the princes were all brave and all that, and the princesses were all cooking. The Snow White was cleaning the house there for the 7 dwarves. And
side topic. What's hitting the news right now is everybody getting steamed off because of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They released, they released that back out onto the TV.
Re-released, yeah.
Well, not re-released. I think they played every year. But this year, just everybody watched it finally, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they're not letting Rudolph play in any reindeer games. They're calling him names, and his dad shames him, and he's all like, "You're gonna put this on your nose," and Santa Claus is all like, "Screw you," Like it was kind of a violent film.
Yeah, if you go back and watch those films, I mean, yeah, look at like the old Mickey Mouse films where like Brutus was there and they're beating the crap out of each other.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, same with Bugs Bunny.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes is an offset whatever
subsidiary.
Yes, of Disney, I believe.
Is it? I thought it was Warner Brothers.
Doesn't Disney own Warner Brothers?
I don't know.
I believe so.
Oh, okay, all right.
They own like everything. That's the problem. They're starting to own everything.
And speaking of that, I should have mentioned where I bought this beer. And I talked to Britt about this.
Perfect.
So the reason I bought this beer, because we always like to try and tie in the drinks to the talk.
Yes, I love tying in the drinks to the talk.
So I bought I bought these beers at Whole Foods. And the reason I did that is, how many of you out there know that Whole Foods is actually owned by Amazon?
Boom.
Yep. So can you imagine that partnership? Disney, Amazon, Apple. Man, that would be...
Who says that it's not going to get to that?
I don't know.
Big Al's Toy Barn.
Well, actually, I think
No.
Apple is way bigger than Disney.
What was
as far as the cash?
What was off of Wally? What was the
Mega
Superstore?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, we've got the Santa's Reserve.
Nice.
Thanks, Santa, for telling Rudolph to go F himself.
Yeah. So the Santa's Reserve, Santa's Private Reserve. It's and I forgot to mention I'm going to go back to the yellow snow. That was a 5.5% ABV, 19 IBU, and they call it a spruce tip Pilsner, but this is not a Pilsner. This is the IPA, so
yes,
information was a little off on the website there. This next one that we're drinking is Santa's Private Reserve. It is a Belgian strong ale, so it's a little higher percentage. It's 7.8% ABV, 23 IBU. It also says it's a Belgian strong ale with cherries and raspberries. So a little Christmassy.
That sounds very good.
Very good. Oh, man, it's dark. Holy cow.
Yeah, let's do the lineup here in the spare person spot. There we go.
Oh, you can definitely smell the cherries and the raspberries.
Oh, the cherries, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the cherries.
Very fruity smell to it. Very thick head on there, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm liking this. I'm liking the smell. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, yeah. That is totally different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Christmassy.
Christmassy. A little sweet, but not
overpowering.
Not overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
How would I describe this from another beer? Like, I can't say that I've had another beer taste like this before.
I don't know too many beers that have cherries and raspberries in there.
It's like a peach cobbler. No, not a peach cobbler at all.
It's a little malty flavored, but the fruit is definitely in there. It's a little subdued when you're drinking it. It's very prevalent when you're smelling it.
It definitely tastes like they ground it and mashed it, and then the liquid of it kind of seeped into the beer just a little bit. The raspberry and the cherries.
Yeah,
it's not like they took the whole fruit and ground the fruit into it.
Mm-hmm.
They smashed the fruit, and then not the water, but the juices of those kind of seeped in, went into the beer a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get what you're kind of like an infusion.
Boom. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to say it.
This says dedicated to those on the naughty list.
Perfect.
Nice. No, this is good. I dig it. Did the music drop off?
I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, back to Disney. Their movies, they shaped our childhood, and they taught us valuable lessons on things about self-confidence and about family, about love, about bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were using the most impressionable minds as us kids watching this stuff. They had a lot of influence over us, and when parents saw the name Disney, it was easy. They were just like, "Oh, yeah, it's Disney. It's rated G. It's no big deal. These kids could watch it." But in all actuality, some of these were not all that great. I do want to bring up the fact that this deal comes at a great time for Disney. Like I was saying, net neutrality, yes,
mm-hmm.
but also in the wake of Pixar. The head honcho of Pixar, John Lasseter.
Man, that one surprised me and kind of made me really sad.
So, what's really coming out against him is his weird hugs that would last a weird amount of time, and then
he's a hugger.
And then if you didn't have your head in the right place, he would go in for a kiss.
Mm.
So that's what he's being under investigation about right now. But he took a sabbatical in the wake of this and is gone for 6 months. That's what he said, that he's going to come back a different man and all that stuff. And I don't know if this is a whole get off.
I was going to say you're getting
a free card, but
you're getting off on a side tangent here on Pixar.
Pixar is a part of Disney.
I know.
But so we've got the bad news and then they're good news. Like, oh, look at what we did. So we'll flip the script, and nothing's happening over here. It's over here.
I don't know if I want to get political in this one because
it's not political.
No,
it's just somebody who owns the company.
From what I want to bring up,
okay, fair enough.
The way I see it here, when Trump came in office, President Trump came in office and started labeling things fake news and all that, which we did, episodes on fake news, and it's out there. But then you get that stigma of being fake news and all that. And now net neutrality is repealed. And now there's a consolidation of the conglomerate media hosts. So to me, that landscape is pretty ripe for some not good things for the general American public. And I don't know if I like it right now. Excuse me. Doesn't look good.
Okay. All right.
You see what I'm trying? You following where I'm?
So on a lighter note,
yeah,
I decided to do a little where Disney came from.
That's fine.
Walt.
Steamboat Willie.
Good old Walt. No. Yeah, okay. You're talking about his films. I'm talking about where he came as a little boy.
Yeah.
So he was born out on the coast and then quickly moved to Missouri, where he had a stallion named Rupert.
Rupert the Stallion.
Rupert the Stallion. Mm-hmm. From there, he lived in Kansas. He went up to Chicago, and he was a Navy man. He went to the Navy.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's kind of a fun little side of getting to know how he runs a business, knowing that he was a Navy man, knowing that he grew up on a farm and had cows and chickens and a stallion named Rupert. Leads me to believe that when this whole Disney thing got first started,
which he had a lot of failures before that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was told he was worthless and couldn't draw and was fired from multiple positions, and no one wanted to hire him as an animator. And
he started from the bottom. Now you hit. No, I'm just. It is what it is. I don't know if that's copyrighted. I don't know. Anyway, it makes you think. When he was first doing this, he just wanted to create something fun and enjoyable and for kids to watch. And now that he's not around anymore,
I think it was 66. Is that when he passed? I think it was 66.
I didn't look that up.
I think it was 66, a lung cancer.
You'd know better than I would.
Ouch, baby.
No, I'm just kidding.
Still before my time.
But it leads me to believe that he started this company for kids, and I know that he did, and it's starting to become not for kids anymore. The hidden agendas that they're pushing on their movies nowadays. Man,
I'm going to throw some light humor in there, and then you just went straight dark.
I know. I did light humor for a little while, but Archer is now a Disney character because they own FX. Fox is FX.
What?
So Disney now owns Archer, which I wouldn't, that's not a Disney character.
Same as Deadpool.
Okay. Yep. No, and there was a lot of controversy with who's the Deadpool actor?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I know there was a lot of bad blood there, I guess. Not bad blood. I'm not saying it right.
Between who? Ryan Reynolds and who?
Ryan Reynolds and this deal and him going over to Disney and...
Oh, probably because he thought they were going to shut... Even though Deadpool 2 is already wrapped up. Deadpool 2 has wrapped up, so they've... nothing they can do about that. But, as far as a third one, I think that... I think Disney might actually have to create a separate entity to come out with those R-rated movies.
I think I know what that separate entity is. It's called Buena Vista.
Yeah, Buena Vista.
Buena Vista. So,
you keep using that word.
It's Buena Vista.
Can I go back to Mickey Mouse and the beginnings of Disney real quick? Because I wanted to test your knowledge on that one.
Okay, all right. Steamboat Willie?
Do you know Mickey's first name? Or the first name that he had before was Mickey Mouse?
Charles?
Mortimer. Yeah, as Mortimer. But I believe it was his mother that said...
Brian, I don't think I'd watch something called Mortimer, or it wouldn't. It's not catchy.
Yeah,
Mortimer. Mickey. You know, you just say it like that. Mickey.
Do you know why Steamboat Willie was so revolutionary at the time?
Because they added sound. It was sound and motion picture.
No, because sound was out with it. It was synchronized sound.
Okay, well,
yeah, which that's a big difference. You know, it wasn't, you know, they actually
wasn't the piano player in front of the movie screen playing the piano to the movie.
When they actually made it
synced audio.
Yeah, when they made it, they ran the show, and all the effects people were there while the show was going on, and they're doing it live, and that's how they synchronized it, which was revolutionary. Nothing they had never heard a like when he whistles. That's the whole thing with him. That when they show that. At the beginning of all the Walt Disney, when he's at the wheel and he's whistling, that was because that was the first time that the audience had ever experienced synchronized sound with animation.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was a big deal.
I remember seeing a documentary on that. It's sometimes you can't recall things like that. But yes, I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, and he Disneyland and Disney World grew out of he saw all these theme parks that were for kids, and the adults.
What a great idea!
Weren't going anywhere.
What a great idea!
Yeah, he's like, let's have something for the adults too.
A theme park. Well, and there's when you watch his stuff, there's a lot of innuendos, like in the Cars movies and stuff. Now, granted, yes, that's Pixar, but Pixar's part of. Huh.
Let's start a theme park. We call it Drink Talk World.
Dude, we'd need a hotel every 30 feet.
It'd be like Epcot. It'd be like Epcot Center, but instead of food, there'd just be bars.
Well,
and that or craft breweries.
There'd be a tram that's always running. One of the two.
No, we'd have self-driving cars.
Oh well, there you go.
There you go. Get you home.
Oh no! How about this? What are those machines you get on and not the hover round, but the why can't I think of it?
The hoverboards?
No, it's two wheels and you got the little thing that goes in front of you. The
Segway.
Segway.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Segways.
Dude.
That would be a lot of fun.
Have you ever ridden on one
of
those?
But it would be an Uber Segway /
I don't know.
Autonomous vehicle Segway.
Have you ever ridden on one of those?
Home. You're like, you're not going home. You're going back to your hotel, right?
Those Segways, man, would be difficult for an inebriated person to...
It'd be hilarious to watch,
It would be 12 mile an hour.
A lot of cinematic filming from cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Like, watch this guy. Watch him. Watch him.
You'd have to basically put everybody in sumo suits so they would start bonking around.
All right. Well, these are great ideas here. We need to start writing these down.
Fortunately, we're recording.
We're recording them. Perfect. I love it.
Done. Yeah. We're copywriting that.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Gosh. Just call it Drunk World or not Drunk World. Beer Me.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
There you go.
That was something I was coming up with.
Do you know what Epcot stands for? It's an actual acronym.
Well, I know the Epcot Center is pretty sweet.
Yep.
But
it's an actual
I don't know
acronym.
What it means.
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Oh. And that's why they had the...
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Now you know. And knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Joe. Is it me... Or was there always a Star Wars thing at Disney World? Wasn't there always... Or was that Universal Studios?
Yeah, so as a kid, they had the one where you would go, and it was like that little... where C-3PO, when he got taken by the Jawas.
Wasn't Star Wars always at Disney?
So, okay, here's the thing. It's kind
I'm sure they bought, hey, Lucas, we'll throw you some money. We're going to put this here.
It wasn't, they didn't have the rights to it. I think they were allowed to do it. Kind of like what's going on with Spider-Man right now.
That just tricking my mind. I was like, the last time I was there, we went through the line, and then C-3PO was there, and he, don't tell you, don't wear your seatbelt, stuff like that. But yeah, I totally remember having Star Wars there at Disney way before Disney even purchased Lucasfilms.
It's like what's going on with Spider-Man right now. The Marvel Disney doesn't have the rights to Spider-Man, even though he's part of the Marvel universe. Right. But
they're going to be coming out with something here soon. This CGI graphic cartoon, which looks pretty
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I'll show you when we get done here. It looks pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah.
Came across it while I was doing the Disney searches.
Huh. Excuse me. Had a little 'tis the season for the coughs, I guess.
Tis the season for the...
Yeah.
It's very good. I'm enjoying this private reserve, which, again, you can buy at Whole Foods, a subsidiary of Amazon.
And they're in the bombers, those of you that are not
of that,
watching us.
Now that they're a subsidiary, I know that the food has kind of come down in price.
It has.
Has the booze come down in price?
How much do you think these were?
Per bomber.
Per bomber.
$8.
$6.
Okay. Wow, that's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, $5.99.
That's actually pretty decent because if you think it's two, it's $3 per. So that's not bad.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I dig it. I first noticed that because I go to the salad bar there every now and again at Whole Foods, and I noticed
every now and again.
After
how you put that.
Yeah, after Amazon. Well, I didn't go there
every once in a while. It's every now and again.
Every now and again, and I only went every now and again because it's Whole Foods, so it was so expensive.
Right, but it's good.
But now it's like I go there. It used to be like $8 or $10, and now it's more like $6 or $8. So
perfect,
a couple bucks. I mean, that's
great.
Not too bad. I dig it.
Now that
I do know,
now that Amazon owns Whole Foods, could they just do like, people, if you're part of the Amazon Prime membership, you get free shipping, quote unquote. You still have to pay for the membership, so it's not free. Depending on how much you use it, it's more worthwhile in your nature to have it. But could you get free shipping right to their store? I mean, there's already a truck going there.
I think that's why they bought the Whole Foods as distribution centers. I think, in my humble opinion.
In your humble opinion. All right, getting back to Buena Vista.
Okay.
I want to do that.
All right, you know more about this than I mean.
Well, I don't know of it, but so when I went out, I was doing some research here on Disney, and all of a sudden I open up a Disney film, and right at the bottom of it, instead of it saying a Walt Disney Corporation or Walt Disney Film, it now says just Disney, and right below Disney it says a Buena Vista Company.
Mm-hmm.
A Buena Vista Company. So
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista. Buena. Yeah, Buena.
Putting the accent. You're putting the accent on the wrong syllable.
Okay, all right. Buena Vista means good view in Spanish. Okay, look that up. Anyway.
Well, bueno is good.
Bueno.
Vista, probably view.
View.
Yeah, good view.
You got it. Anyway, if you go to Disney down in Florida, you will stay around an area in Disney if you decide to stay in an area around Disney, or you could go get a cheap hotel outside of Disney. No big deal. I'm not judging here. But they have this place called Downtown Disney, and it's called Buena Vista Properties.
See, and I've been there, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so that the lake used to be called Black Lake, which is...
That sounds like I want to go there.
Horrible term for a lake. And they renamed it Buena Vista Lake, and it is the Buena Vista Properties, which is now Downtown Disney. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see the correlation there until, just like I said, while I was doing the research, it said Buena Vista Company. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's... Okay, yeah, I've been there. I get this. I don't get why it's not linked up like this. Anyway, subsidiary of subsidiaries, So I think that Buena Vista Properties is kind of the top notch, but I can't confirm that right now because
like they're the umbrella company kind of thing,
right?
Which is what we think Disney is, the umbrella company,
right? And so instead, let's say you're working at Disney, but your check comes from Buena Vista Properties. Okay, well, it all just is the umbrella effect there. But when I search Disney, cool, I can get some numbers on Disney. But when I search Buena Vista, they don't want to give me no numbers whatsoever at all. They say that it kind of phased out back in like 2004, 2005, but yet they've still got Buena Vista International. There's still things going on. And when I went and checked them out on Wikipedia, it says last updated yesterday. So like they're still doing stuff as Buena Vista, brands is what they call it.
I don't know a lot about them. So
if you actually look up on Wikipedia, Buena Vista and then brands in quotes, at the bottom of the page, there'll be a hyperlink that you want to click on. And it was kind of funny. I actually showed Brian this. At the bottom of the page, there's a hyperlink that says Disney to drop Buena Vista brand name, comma, people say. And as soon as you click on that, it takes you to a Bloomberg site. And
it's the 404 page not found.
404 page not found.
Yeah.
But the weirdest part is there's this guy animation thing, and he's got a computer, and he smacks the computer off of the desk like he's totally pissed off at it.
Well, then the desk moves.
The desk moves, the screen cracks, and then it cuts him in half. The person cuts in half, and he twirls all over himself. I can't make this up. You go ahead and go onto Wikipedia, type in Buena Vista brands in quotes, and at the very bottom of it, it says Disney to drop Buena Vista brand name, Buena Vista. I'll spell that. Buena Vista.
Buena Vista.
That's right. Brand name.
It's like prosciutto.
Comma, people say. Anyway, click on that link. It's the weirdest link I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, it could be net neutrality hit, and they don't really want to disclose anything whatsoever. But, if ever Disney goes down, which I doubt they'd ever go down or get sued, they've got the backup. They got the backup over here.
It's not Disney, it's Buena Vista.
Exactly.
Totally different company.
Totally different company. Totally different.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got rid of them 2004. Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't really have... Oh, let's talk some geekdom now.
I love talking geekdom. I'm working on getting the next beer out here. So.
Right. Do you think now that Disney owns the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four and Marvel...
I'm glad you're going this route. Perfect.
Yeah, let's make it some fun. Let's do some fun. So, I don't know... Fantastic Four they could probably do with Marvel, with the Avengers.
Sure.
They could probably do that. X-Men would be tough. That would be a tough one. And here's why. So, when you watch the X-Men movies, it's all about mutants, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
They've never mentioned mutants, really, in the Avengers. I mean, there's people with abilities.
People with crazy powers. But they don't mention them as mutants. Well, right. The Incredible Hulk is kind of a mutant.
Yes, but they don't really, X-Men movies spend a lot of time on the split relationship between regular humans and mutants. Whereas in the Avengers, they don't do that. The Avengers are a group of people that are trying to save humanity.
Sure.
So it's a different view. So unless you had
this just creates a whole new scenario of events for them to do.
The only way I think they could do it is because now they're getting through the Infinity Stones. Now,
and you've seen the build up, and then they get to a point where the characters have pretty much killed all of themselves off, and there's only a few left, and they're the awesome people, and so then they got to restart it back again.
Yeah, but again, you have the whole X-Men universe is so hard to fit within the Avengers universe. It'd be hard to do that unless, like I said, you could do the Infinity Stone, or they have a reality Infinity Stone.
They just come up with a doohickey widget, and then and then it works.
Alternate timeline, and yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't know what movie that's from.
The alternate reality, and
they come up with a widget, and that's the problem solver.
What's it? And then we're good to go. So
thank you for smoking. That's what it was. He's trying to pitch this thing. How would you smoke in space? Oh, and they were like, you just come up with the doohickey widget thing, and then now you can smoke
widget.
Yeah, and then you can smoke and win.
How do you light it?
They just have the CO2 thing of a bobber, and that's what you use when you smoke in space.
But how do you light a cigarette?
It's only in that one room that you can do that in. Perfect.
You know how much oxygen is flowing through the rooms like that, man?
I don't know.
Light a cigarette. Big bada boom. Well, not in space.
Thank you for smoking.
Yeah.
A great movie.
Yeah. I have not seen it.
You haven't?
I have not.
Yes. We will. Movie night one of these days.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. Can you name that movie?
Big Fish? No.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes. Always bring your blanket. Mm-hmm. Or your towel.
Towel.
Always bring your towel.
Mm-hmm. Never know when it's needed. Do we need to delve further into the geekdom of...
Oh, your wife is watching, and so is Grant, and 4 other people that I don't know, so that's okay.
Yeah, we got, you missed all the Disney talk earlier, so if you're just joining us now. So
Disney. Okay. now that we're going to be going on to our next beer, which we shall talk about, I will bring up something as soon as we get to it.
Okay, go ahead. This is the guy. This is the friend of the brewer.
That's the guy?
That's the guy.
I love how you said that's the guy.
Yeah.
Because today I went to the deli that's Pickleman's. I went to Pickleman's today.
Never heard of.
You've never been to Pickleman's?
No.
All right. So
it doesn't sound like a place I'd go since I'm not a pickle fan.
No, you're not. But Pickleman's does sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
They're downtown. I had a fun day with my son. I went downtown. I had to fix the lock on a door, so we went to the recycle center, dropped all that stuff off, went to the hardware store, picked up some stuff. He wanted to bring a train in because he wanted to show the train around the hardware store. Picked up a new lock, went downtown, fixed some stuff at the Hive.
Got a lot of details in your stories, man.
And then I took my son to buy some stuff. And anyway, my wife texts me, and she's all like, hey, lunch sandwiches. I'm like, okay, I call her up, and I'm like, where do you want a sandwich from? I'm downtown. There's a lot of places to choose from. She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, there's jams, and there's like seafood, and there's like Spaghetti Works, and there's upstream, there's a zillion places where you want to go. And she's all like, Pickleman's. I'm like, oh, perfect. All right, Pickleman's. That's 15th and Farnham. So now I got to drive around that way, look at the menu, send me some stuff. I get all the way down to Pickleman's, and I'm standing in line, and I'm next up, and I'm all like,
I have no idea what she wants.
Come on, babe, in line.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get up to the front counter. I'm like, what is the best sandwich you got? And then she's like, she goes, it's probably the chicken bacon avocado sandwich or something like that. And
sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds really good. She goes, actually, there's one better. There's like this guy that used to work here. We just call him the dude. She's like, we got this dude sandwich, not even on the menu. And it's got, it's chicken and barbecue with peppers, and it's got barbecue, or a spicy sauce. Barbecue, or not a barbecue sauce, but a wing sauce.
This is a really long story, man.
Anyway, it was called the dude.
That's a
dude.
good name for a sandwich.
That's the dude.
Just wants his rug mag, man.
Yeah, sometimes I go off on little tangents like that, and it's all right. It's a fun story amongst all other stories. So, but the next story we should talk to is about
what this
honey nut, the hazelnut.
Yeah, hazelnut brown. It's just I wanted to try something a little different, and I like brown ales. And brown ales tend to be a little maltier and heavier flavor wise.
Rogue is. I've had many of Rogue, and they've all been very decent beers. But to be honest, it's not my first choice. But after having these first two, I go, you know what? I need to start going with Rogue a little more.
I've always liked Rogue.
Yeah, when I see these guys, I need to start picking them up.
There's a lot of people like the Dead Guy Ale. That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to the nut brown.
Cheers. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can really smell the that hazelnut really jumps up at you in the smell.
Brian, you have brought the Christmas cheer. I love the Christmas cheer of the Santa's Private Reserve, and now this hazelnut. It reminds me of like it snowed a little bit today.
It did, little flurries. Yeah.
I know it snowed today, and then like I was out in the yard with just a sweatshirt on, or later on.
Oh, those that are fans of coffee and hazelnut would love this brown ale.
Oh yeah, this is like just it's a
hint,
ice cold coffee or hazelnut. Yeah,
it's coffee. A hint of sweetness, just a hint. Brown, like usually brown ales, they're very malty in their flavor, and this is just really,
and it's not sweet at all.
There's a hint of sweetness just from the hazelnut,
but yeah, but I wouldn't say it's. I mean, it's not overpoweringly sweet.
No. I'm not like saying sugar sweet. There's a hint there. Man, I dig it.
So I want to talk a little bit to you about your two princesses.
Oh yes. Okay. All right.
So I mean, you firsthand know about Disney and the influence it has on your kids.
Oh, for sure. And we're part of the Disney Vacation Club. We're big fans of Disney. But on the other hand, I'm also when they start getting too big, you start to worry. I mean, when they're a media conglomerate, which they already are.
Yes,
they were number 2, and then they bought number 3. So I kind of I want to see how close they are to Comcast now, because Comcast is number 1. So now that they bought them, I wonder how much difference is there between number 1 and number 2 now.
Well, they already have the content they have right now moving forward, pushing an agenda that they want to push, which I've seen the route they're going, and some of the stuff that they put in these films are for adults. Like, I'm sitting here watching, like I said, Cars or some movie like that, and there's these innuendo references to like adults are laughing, and the kids are like, why didn't my dad and mom just laugh?
It's the same reason that, like I said, Disney World and Disneyland.
You have to have something for the adults as well.
Exactly. It's just smart marketing.
I agree. It's smart marketing, but when will the kids actually catch on?
When they're probably teenagers and not watching those movies anymore?
Yeah, right? Little Mermaid.
Oh, boy.
Why did you have a cover like that?
Well, and there's all the...
Where are your executive paint people that didn't see that on the cover?
They have all the... do you remember the... it was on Little Mermaid, the cover. It was like the picture of the castle in the background. There was like a...
Yes, a phallic symbol.
Giant phallic symbol in the back there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You caught my drift.
I did. I was picking up what you were laying down.
Exactly. Disney is... Disney's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's an imagination of a guy of a younger year.
But it's gone beyond that now.
It's gone beyond that. And like, just when I said it, Archer is now a Disney character. You're like, what?
And Anastasia is now a Disney princess.
Right. Well, what else is on FX?
A lot of stuff.
Lot of stuff. That is now all Disney. Because when they bought the Fox, they got FX.
Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney sold off, a portion of those, like the Deadpool and all that, and created a separate film studio that puts out content that's more adult-driven.
With that said, their sell-off assets are actually stated at the bottom of Wikipedia, and the list is only about 15 out of the hundreds of things that they're involved in. So I'm just saying they've only sold off really like 15 of it. They're just going to keep getting bigger. They're not going to get smaller. And if they need to, just sell off Star Wars. Boom, we're rich again.
I'm wondering if this is going to put a damper, because you had Fox Studios over here, 21st Century Fox Studios over here, and you had Disney over here creating
Have you
content.
seen the new Star Wars, by the way? Sorry,
the brand new one.
Yeah,
Last Jedi. I have not.
I got people giving me a hard time at work. They're like, "You haven't seen it yet?" I'm like, "It's been out for 2 days. Leave me alone."
I was working all weekend, and
sorry, I had something going on Thursday and Friday night, and my Saturday I stayed home.
Yep,
I could have watched it Saturday, but don't give me a harder time about it.
I will see it.
Yeah,
and I do want to see it. And I've been purposefully avoiding areas of the internet where there might be spoilers. So, anyway, we got off on the side tangent there. What I was talking about with Fox as a content provider and Disney as a content provider, I'm kind of wondering, now that they've melded, are we going to get less content now?
No, you're going to get more, because you'll have better access to it when they start putting their stuff on Hulu. Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a perfect setup to a great plan. Buying Hulu.
I know, but I'm specifically talking Fox here because they have a lot of redundant things. So I don't know that when you acquire a business like that, you're going to shed some of the redundant systems on that. So I wonder if they're going to, I don't know. Disney puts out a lot of content.
Right. And they have the means to do it. They have the people to do it. They have the studios to do it. They own a lot of different things. I don't see why they would withhold any of that. I mean, we talked about getting into a tier bracket system on net neutrality. Well, it's just the next tier you have to buy into. You want this? Well,
This is an interesting move.
You want tier 3. That's what you want.
I know. This is an interesting move right after the net neutrality thing.
Very interesting move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it couldn't have weighed any better for them.
Yeah, the consolidation of media.
Yeah. No, now we own that. Now we own it. If you want to see us, see it. If you ever want to see it again, pay us.
Now there's only 5 people that we get everything that we see from,
right?
Instead of 6. Yeah. Oh boy, who's next?
Right? Who's gonna actually give up their rights to? What I was surprised about is them not actually getting Fox Sports, because if they would have gotten Fox Sports and ESPN, because they own ESPN right now too,
probably why they didn't.
It would have been like, this is the price of you wanting to watch this football game went from $68 to $85.
Well, and that's probably one of the things.
You want it because we're the only one that got it.
The only reason the reason they probably didn't do it was because that's probably a red flag for the congressional approval.
Okay, all right, I see where you're going there. I see. I get what you're putting down. Yeah. I did want to talk about Disney stars.
Like, where are they now?
Well,
Hannah, what happened to you?
Right. Oh, Miley, what happened to you? Oh, what turned out good though? Justin Timberlake. I'll say he can put it down, and he knows how to put it down. He's a Magnetic. That 2020 tour. You can right now on Netflix. You can watch his 2020 tour, and it is a spectacular show. Like I put that on, and Carly was like watching the first 5 minutes. So she's like, "Really this?" And I'm like, "Just hear me out." And I increased the volume. Like we normally keep it at like 10 or 12. I had it at 40 by the time we were done watching the thing. And she's like, "That was awesome." And I'm like, "Yeah, I felt like we were at the concert." It was, that's what the good came out of Disney, but. Christina Aguilera, okay, well...
She's got some pipes, man.
She's got some pipes, but now she's just doing the one show thing.
Yeah. Not everybody
Britney
has that
Spears, go ahead and shave your head.
Well, okay, so then she bounced back. Okay, so after that...
She's in Vegas, Brian.
Okay, she started her career back. Not to the full thing, but
great. Okay.
She took a little time out. I mean, if you don't go crazy in that business, there's some... You either are... a very, very strong person, or there's something wrong with you, because it's yeah, I have a lot of respect for Justin Timberlake, and I don't know if he ever had a point in his life that we just didn't see where he just went off the map a little bit.
He was traumatized when he lost Britney. No, I'm just kidding. No, he never was.
No,
he just stood right back up.
We actually just watched Trolls Holiday, where Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that's good. Something in my feet.
It wasn't as good as the movie Trolls, but it was cute. So it was just a little 20-minute video on Netflix.
Yeah, it back in the day when you were a child star, back in the 90s,
Mickey Mouse Club.
Back in the 90s, some of you turned out okay, some of you didn't. But it makes you think. Well, we could really branch off from this. I don't want to go down that.
I don't think we need. I think this is going to be a shorter episode, and I think we're going to wrap it up.
Shorter episode. We're sitting at an hour right now.
Well, normally we're an hour and a half to 2.
Fair enough. Hour and a half to 2. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, we haven't even had our last beer yet.
I know.
We're getting there.
We may have to cut it short and do a post talk.
A post talk.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't we talk about? Is that what you're saying?
No, we've already run through all my notes. I'm good.
It's because you didn't have any time to research, Brian.
I didn't. No, I had very, very little time.
It's all right. No worries.
and
press stop now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up? Because really, I mean, to me, I like I said, I'm a big fan of Disney, but I am a little worried about them becoming so big.
I just I want to know who controls it all. That's the real thing I want to say. Getting back to Pixar, what was his name? John Lasseter. On YouTube, they had a day in the life of John Lasseter, and He apparently wears a Hawaiian shirt every day to work.
Yeah.
And that's fine. He's got a beautiful home. He's got a hidden staircase, which he wanted to show us. Like, I wouldn't show anybody my hidden staircase. Like, sorry, especially not on live TV.
Isn't it supposed to be hidden?
Exactly. He told us what he did on his way to work. Like, he had a chauffeur. And then he was just, all he would have to do is like watch this little movie thing and then be like, okay, cool. And then he could press this cool record button and be like, note, maybe we need to add something here. And then that note would get recorded in email format and he could just send it off. So, like, his job was pretty easy. Like, you know, like,
well, he's the head guy.
You're the head guy. I get that. You can get away with a lot, and you could do a little. You could be like, whatever, that's cool. Don't
like that.
Critique. Okay, well, that was 5 minutes of my day. Okay, you know, done. You know, like his day, he could do in 5 minutes, or he could take all day to do it. You know, one of the two. Where am I going with this?
I have no idea.
Well, I want to know who's that guy. Who's the guy who is critiquing everything? Who's the guy who says yes or no to the obligatory comment or the sexual innuendos or profanity or genderism in the film? You know what I mean? Who's the guy that's like, okay, cool. No, run with that. You know, who's that guy? Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
Bueller.
I got nothing.
Bueller.
Sorry. I don't want.
That's what I want to know. I want to know who's the guy that's actually okaying everything, because that's who is really in charge, and that's who.
I think it's on a case by case thing. Like the director of each movie is. I mean. The script has to be okayed, and I think production has to be okayed, and there's producers to kind of back up the directors, and I don't think it's any one person.
Well, the Disney has been passed down and passed down and passed down to generations and generations of Walt Disney's kids.
Not anymore. The CEO is not
anymore.
No.
Okay, that's why Buena Vista is going to come in.
Well, his contract just got renewed through 2021.
When was that re-signing of the contract?
When the whole acquisition they wanted him to make sure that he would stay through the acquisition of Fox and all that. So
okay, so fairly recent.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, all right,
and now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing a little star.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know.
Yeah, that's all I got. Are we cutting it?
That's fine. We can cut it.
All right. I mean, we didn't really solve anything because...
No, we didn't solve it. Well, here's what it is.
It's Disney.
If we wanted to solve this, stop watching Disney, good luck. No. I mean, stop watching FX, good luck. Stop watching ABC, good luck. Stop watching Epic Rap Battles, good luck. I mean, like, there's too many things that they own that we can't stop watching.
Well, that's when I started looking into that was one of the things that surprised me because I kind of went down the rabbit hole of who owns what. And like when you get into things like Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Nestle, they own everything. Like you think that water you're drinking is independent brand? No, probably owned by Pepsi or Coca-Cola.
Right. We're drinking Hy-Vee brand spring water.
That might be.
That might be all right.
Yeah, might be.
Hy-Vee's pretty good.
Maybe. We'll see. But the like Naked is owned by Pepsi.
Oh, the drink?
The
fruit drink.
The one the one that's supposed to be good for you, the fruit smoothie drink that's supposed to be really healthy for you, owned by Pepsi.
I just found out that I shouldn't give my son Honey Nut Cheerios anymore.
Oh, yeah. Erica got to you?
No. Oh, I found out on my own.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
She was talking about that earlier.
Maybe because I brought it up to her.
I don't know.
And she didn't bring me up.
I don't know.
Fine, I get it.
All right, we're babbling. We're gonna cut it.
Yep,
we're gonna cut it. This has been an episode of Drink Talk. We have been talking on Disney and all the fine things.
Disney on Ice. We didn't even say that.
No,
just kidding.
Probably under Disney Productions or somewhere in here.
It is.
So, yeah. we have been drinking on Rogue Ales.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, we are.
We're about to get to our fourth one offline.
Yeah, offline.
Hold on.
Yeah,
there we go.
This is last call. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. Thank you for joining us on this one, and it's I don't know, this one I give it a lower rating on this one. It's just, I don't know. I mean, we brought up some cool stuff, but I don't know.
I think we enhanced people's mindset maybe on Disney and what is actually happening.
This is one of those episodes
because I was surprised that you didn't want to talk about this in Drink Talk. Well, not that you didn't want to, that you didn't bring it up. You started off with the whole technology thing, live and die by technology, and I was like Disney, and I'm like, and then I did my research, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally. That's why we should be doing Disney, because of what's happening right now.
It was a fair topic. It was fair. It's something that people need to be aware of, that they're starting to get, excuse me, pretty darn big, which should worry you, especially with this whole net neutrality thing going on, or the repeal of net neutrality.
Right. If you're going to want to watch Disney the future, the content of Disney,
not necessarily that,
are probably going to have to pay a decent price.
But who's authorizing what you see?
The FCC?
No, it's the Big Five now.
Oh yeah,
the Big Five.
Gotcha.
Yep. Well, that's all I got. Thank you for joining us. My name's Brian.
I'm Britt,
and this has been an episode of Drink Talk. Join us. Next week is Christmas Eve. We might have to talk about maybe
getting our cousins on. That's what I'm thinking.
Or skipping a weekend and go into the next one. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see. We'll let you know. Keep posted.
Keep tuning in.
Yep.
Check us out.